Let's get into my review of Restore Me. Honestly, the whole first half of this novel was boring to me. And that's just because I felt like it was just pretty much Juliet trying to settle into her new role as Supreme Commander. She had the Supreme Commander's, like the other Supreme Commander's children coming to visit. And it just was very like routine. A couple of things that did catch my attention were, one, when Adam took accountability for how he treated Juliet in the last book. He said that he was an a-hole and he realized a lot about himself. I applaud him for taking accountability. I do feel like he should have had a conversation with Juliet. Like, they should have talked it out. He should have apologized to her because he was not talking to her. I think he was talking to Warner, if I remember correctly. The other thing that stood out to me was when Kenji like told Juliet like what happened with his parents and stuff, and I was like, wow, that's really sad. Like, but it was interesting to learn like a little bit more about Kenji's background because we didn't really know much about him up until this book. Those were the two things that stood out to me in the beginning half, up until Juliet got shot again. I was just like, girl, you know these people is out here after you, and you turn your powers off for what? Why would you do that? So she got shot, the bullets were poisoned, all that other stuff. Nazira saves her life, which, by the way, really love Nazira. I just like her energy. Like, she just carries herself with such grace. On top of that happening, Castle tells Warner something, and he's like, you need to tell Juliet this information. And Warner is having a war in his head, talking about, I don't know if I should tell her. I love her. She's never going to love me again if I tell her. I should tell her, but I don't want to tell her. He finally tells Juliet that her parents are alive. She has a sister. Her name's not even Juliet for real. It's Ella. And Juliet obviously freaks out because why would you tell this information to somebody who is recovering from being shot with poisonous bullets? You know, I don't know. But I guess his heart was in a good place. You know, after Juliet got shot in this book, all chaos just broke loose. Like, all freaking chaos. Like, Warner told her the truth. She ran away. She shaved her head, which really threw me for a loop. She got drunk and shaved her head. Let's not forget that key detail. I was like, what? Honestly, I hated the fact that Juliet and Warner broke up. Him and Juliet are good together. But I do feel like he should have been doing more to help Juliet at this time in her life. She just assumes Supreme Commander and she has no idea what she's doing, and she's not going to ask you for help because she's prideful, but you need to help her anyway because you know stuff. Like, really, they kind of should have been like running the whole place like jointly, like together, but that didn't happen. Get to the symposium and Julia's just out here offing people with a loud scream, and then everybody dies, and I didn't know what was going on. I was like, oh my gosh, like my notes, literally, I was like, all caps, screaming, sitting in my bed like, oh my gosh, no! Because what really just happened? What just happened?